Hey guys, back again. Gonna do the LS heads install on my 5.3 and my 1980 model K5 Blazer. Doing an LS swap, and if you just watched the removal video, you'll notice the head gaskets that I had were not the MLS gaskets. I think that's part of the issue why they failed, but I'll show you here on the table what I've got now and go over a few things with you before I get started. Probably going to cut out a little bit of stuff, not real important, but I'll explain it to you and I'll cover it just for time, but we'll go from there. So here on the table, pan down right quick, I've got the MLS gaskets, and what I've done with these guys is took some clear coat spray paint, and I've gone over those gaskets. What you want to be careful of is when you're sliding these gaskets around, not to slide them across one or the other and mess these up. You want to be very careful with these. Don't scratch them, don't scuff them, don't do anything that's going to mess those up. GM part number is right there, so you guys know 124-98544. Those are a GM brand head gasket. Decided to go with some Earls head bolts. They do have a chamfered end on these washers. Let's see if I can show you right quick. Maybe not. I don't believe it's going to show you, but you need to make sure those are on there right. If you're going, it's got a little beveled end on it on the inside of that washer. The other side is flat. You want the flat side touching the head. You want the chamfered side on the head bolt end, the hex end. So went ahead and kind of got all the washers on those, got it set up. You got your assembly lube. This is ARP, but this stuff, these bolts came with 3 little packets of the anti-seize. You'll put that on the threads, and you'll put it a little bit on the top of the washer, bottom of the washer, and on the edge of the head bolt here. When you do take your old ones off, make sure they match. Make sure you've got the right thread pitch and the right length when you're doing these. Same with the small ones. The small ones have the chamfered end washers also. You want to make sure that stuff is correct. Something I did that I'm going to clean the heads out, the threads. This is a special thread pattern from what I'm hearing. And instead of buying a tap, you'd have to have a long tap. I've cut some grooves in these. They're not straight by any means, but that's not going to hurt anything. Just going to run them down in the head holes on the block and clean those holes out, the long one and the short one. Like I say, they're not straight, they're not pretty. Took about 5 minutes to make, no big deal. Changing out the heads, I've actually got 799s on it right now, or well, that I just took off. I'm going back with an 862 truck head, a little bit smaller combustion chamber, not as good a flow, but did go with some new pack springs. The 799s have the brand new blue Camaro springs or whatever, but went with some pack springs, good for 600, 625 lift. I won't be anywhere near that, but these will be my new ones going on. We'll walk over here to the motor, kind of show you. When you're doing this, when you take all your old stuff off, take extra care to clean up everything. Not, don't get a lot of foil material down in your cylinder walls and stuff like that inside your block. You don't want to get a lot of trash in there. That stuff's going to recirculate through your oil system and things like that. I'll change the oil before I fire up. But got that block surface super clean, and I'm fixing to go ahead and get started here in just a few minutes. Quit rambling and really take off with this. So keep watching. Anything that's important, I'll try to do a voiceover or cover with you in depth. That way you don't mess nothing up. So let's get started. Wanted to jump in here right quick. You guys are changing heads out or moving stuff across. When I took this old head off, I put the bolt back in for the ground for the front of the harness and the ground bolt for the back that goes on the back of the head. You want to try to be aware of the placement of all that stuff. My coolant temperature sensor, I'll have to take that out and put that into the new head. Go through and check if you've got any plugs, anything like that, like this plug here. This is on one of the other heads, but that's a plug for the coolant temperature. If you put that on there, that head on, and you don't have that plug, it's gonna leak water out as soon as you start filling it up. So double check, take everything off of your old head and put it on your new one before you put that on the vehicle. Real quick, while I got you here, this is the actual gasket, one of them that I had on there. It's just that old crappy, I guess kind of lead-like gasket. Not a good choice. I don't know why I didn't put the better gaskets on there, but I'm getting to redo it, so lesson learned. But wanted to cover that right quick. I'll get back to the install.
This way, life is ours, we live it our way. All these words I don't just say, and nothing else matters. Trust I seek and I find in you. Every day for us something new. Open mind for a different view, and nothing else matters. Never care for what they do, never care for what they know, but I know. So close, no matter how far, it couldn't be much more from the heart. Forever trusting who we are, and nothing else matters.
I'm gonna go through our torque sequence now. First one gonna be at 40 psi or 40 foot-pounds. Go through all those. Pretty much go from inside out. There's a torque sequence. I'll post that up with this video. Now we're gonna go, went 40 first time, we're gonna go to 65. Excuse me, 55. We're gonna do 55 and then 70. All right, last one. It's gonna be 70 foot-pounds. I'm not gonna do that crisscrossing like the sequence shows. I'm just gonna go straight on out in the sequence I normally do. Shouldn't be no different. So 70 foot-pounds. That's it. 40, 55, and 70. When you use an extension, they say you lose a few pounds, but I'm gonna leave it at that. Okay, driver's side head, just like the passenger side, we're gonna do 40 foot-pounds, and then 55, and then 70. They say if you use an extension, you lose a few. I'm gonna let these set for a couple days, and I'll come back and probably re-torque them at 75 foot-pounds to finish them out. But sequence is from inside out. You're gonna start the 2 in the center, top, then bottom, back up, top, bottom, across, top, bottom, back over, and then your last 2 on the outside. Probably gonna be kind of hard to get to with the brake booster in the way, but I'll give it a shot. We're gonna do, again, 40, 55, and 70 for today. All right, change it to 55. And 70. That's it. All right. Come back through and do the top. 22 foot-pounds. You're gonna start in the center. Next one out. Next one. Next one. Last one. Same on both sides. We're gonna do them at 22 foot-pounds just one time. I'll come back and double check them when I run the big head bolts back to 75. Probably in a day or two when I come back over here. Doesn't take much. Doesn't take much at all.
Not much at all. Gotta be careful, these guys, you'll strip them out. Nobody wants to leave out the little ones. Do them also.
That's it. Go back through and do them one more time, or just double check them, just to make sure you're at 22, just to make sure everything is good. I'll double check these. I'll come back to do the rest here in a couple days. All right, that's it. We got the heads on. I'll come back and we'll do rocker arms, push rods, the rails, all that stuff, and we'll start buttoning it up. But I guess that's it. We'll take it from there. Have a good one.
forever.